Okay, so today we're going to talk about the life of prostitutes with an uncanny twist of porn stars.
Following is our knowledge issue, should prostitution be legalized as porn is?
And should prostitution be legalized due to the various atrocities faced by prostitutes and because of the nature of their profession? Basically means all the struggles that prostitutes go through and the hard times they face, the physical violence, etc. Is that a justified reason for legalizing prostitution?
Are our porn stars worth to prostitutes?
So now, if you could please answer the questions and just indicate your answer by ticking the box and place it on your desk upside down so we don't know who it is and don't write your name on it. Arsha will collect it later. In the meantime, we'll give you time to answer the questionnaire while we are talking about the other parts of our presentation. Okay, so why have we chosen this topic? I mean, we could have chosen something way more philosophical, something that probably affects each individual, each and every soul. But we feel that actually this topic is something that covers a really big issue in today's world especially. So basically, I want to show you how this topic is relevant to the present day. This topic was actually chosen to commemorate World AIDS Week, which started on December 1st. And hence we want to have a tribute to all the people involved in AIDS, even prostitutes, as they are not only sufferers of AIDS, but they're also accused of being the cause of AIDS.
A major cause.
A major cause of it, which is not right, as we will show you later. And dehumanization of sex workers is actually on the rise. Several NGOs attempt to protect their rights, but prostitutes, as you will see later from their own opinions, have shown that they actually feel that all of this is useless. Whenever they see a reporter, a camera, they just assume that, they're there to collect information again and not solve their problems. They're actually sick and tired of the plans that we have had and want governmental action immediately. Now, what I need to tell you about, actually, really importantly, is a show called Avenue Q. Now, this show started in Broadway, okay, and that's in New York. So basically, Broadway showcases one of the most premium shows in the entire world. So this is a theatrical piece that I think distills all the 21st century problems into one cohesive piece, which is so fun that you won't even think they're trying to communicate a message. You'll just feel that it's 2 hours of laughing, but actually, powerful messages are hidden within it. So I think right now we will see the data from the questionnaires, and if it comes as we predicted for a few of our questions, we feel a distinction of some terms is in order. Basically, we want to clarify exactly what term signifies what sex worker. Now, let me start at the top. Porn stars. Porn stars are workers who act behind a camera. So basically, they're being filmed for participating in sexual acts and any sexual suggestive material thereof. So sluts basically, the reason I brought it in here is because I feel it's a term that is widely and way too loosely used in today's world. Like, if you just go out and talk to your friends, how many people would you actually call a slut because of other reasons other than their dress code or how many males/females they're with? You don't really call them sluts because they're promiscuous, which is actually the definition of sluts. However, you call them sluts because you use it as a derogatory term, as an insult. Now, this is not right because a slut actually means a promiscuous and a promiscuous woman who dresses slovenly, which is very dirty and ragged. Now, prostitutes is what we will be focusing on over here, and basically prostitutes consist of people who engage in sexual activities for a form of payment. Now, that payment could be anything. It could be money. It could be just the pleasure with some jewels, like it started when the kings were there, or it could be any sort of payment. But prostitutes basically are sex workers who engage in sexual acts for payment, and most of the time that is live. Okay, so why should prostitution be encouraged? Well, we think prostitution is a service just like any other. Think about the tertiary industry, the tertiary sector. You engage services such as house cleaning and fixing cars, maybe even. But basically, the thing is, it's a service. So being in the tertiary sector, prostitution is a profession, a service, so it should be recognized and respected just the way any other profession would be in that sector. And also, a really huge argument for it is that it's the world's oldest profession. Now, human beings have been engaging in prostitution for such a long time, it's almost impossible for them to leave it. If you have prostitution illegal, then you will actually have people going behind the backs of countries and nations and people of authority and performing prostitution there. But if you actually legalize it, all of that rises to the surface, and along with it, you see the black muck. Meaning, you can actually distill what part of prostitution should be allowed, which is good and healthy, and what part of prostitution is bad, such as sex trade, human trafficking, mistreatment, and other such acts. And basically, we want to show how prostitution should be encouraged because they're shunned in this society, and I really feel that the 21st century needs an awakening to acceptance of these sexual acts, not just in the Western world, but in the Eastern world. And so one may ask maybe, why look at porn stars? You know, they're so different, they just do it behind the camera, they're all safe, and they don't have any connection with us directly, but actually, it could be the legal form of prostitution, if you look at it. I mean, it's just something that's legalized, but it's the same act. It's the act of performing sex. And basically, the unfairness stems from our outlook, society's outlook, how porn stars actually have a dedicated award show for them, but prostitutes have no such recognition at all. So basically, the virtual boundary is the screen that you see on your laptop that shields you from the porn star. So this boundary is the key in why porn stars are looked differently than prostitutes, looked upon differently. So basically, it shields the porn stars who work as in the industry from any harms that live sex could bring. And women are paid to have sex in both prostitution and porn. However, in porn, they are actually able to choose who their core stars are, if it's starring in a movie or a film. In prostitution, they almost have no such choice, because since it's illegal, it's almost their only form of revenue. And yeah, that's basically, that is part of the virtual boundary. And also, the difference is not just sexual, it is personal safety as well. Imagine if you were a prostitute, you would actually go to many houses, and you don't know if you would come back alive or not. So that danger is there in prostitution, which is absent in porn. And porn may be looked at as something very indirect, because you derive pleasure out of it, and you don't engage in the activity. But it's basically the porn star engaging in the activity, so it's the same thing. And also, the Constitution has deemed it something based on the freedom of speech, and it's much more easier to justify based on the freedom of speech, because you can say that all forms of art can be shown, all forms of art should be able to be displayed, and this also is a form of art. So that's why they can justify it that way. And as you will see in the next slide, several countries have legalized porn, but you will see a huge discrepancy in prostitution, where only a few are legalized.
So I'll be speaking from legal point of view of what law thinks that porn and sex is. Prostitution is considered as a crime which can be punished to death in many countries like Saudi Arabia, and in some countries it's legal and it's regulated normally like Netherlands. These are the sex rules which are followed by the UN all around the world, but it does not apply to each and every jurisdiction. So according to the law, sex without consent is rape. Sex between a married person and third party is adultery. Sex that gives birth to a child, the man is responsible for the child until the child turns 18. sex that happens for exchange of fee or anything is considered to be prostitution. But when sex is happening in front of camera lens, it's not considered to be prostitution because according to law, it's kind of mere acting. Okay. So this is legality of porn around the world. The red areas highlight that the green areas highlight that the porn is legal and they have no charges against it. In the red area, it's illegal totally, and if you are found watching porn or producing porn, then you can be charged. For it. The yellow places, it is legal, but to some extent. And the gray areas, there's no data found for those places. This is a map for legality of prostitution around the world. So you can see, red is the area where it's illegal. Green is the area where it's legal and it's regulated. That means there are brothels, sex shops, and red light districts. The gray area has no data, and the blue area has it's legal there, but it cannot be regulated. Yeah, this is the most controversial topic. Like in the past few years, prostitution has been legalized in Canada, but it's only regulated in the form of brothels. And legalizing it, they actually pay the taxes. The brothel owner pay the taxes to counties of Nevada, since there is no state tax. And their prostitutes sign an independent contract, so they are not forced over there, but it's a choice. And in brothels, prostitutes are checked regularly for medical conditions. Okay, this is the basic dictionary definition of a red light district, which is called a district with many brothels, but it's actually not that. Red light district is an urban area where all kind of sex-oriented business occur. For example, sex shops, porn, strip clubs, porn stores, and brothels. This is the most famous red light district in the entire world, and it's located in Amsterdam. And this is it is one of the major attraction in Amsterdam is the Wallen, and it is the biggest red light district. So people come from different countries just to have sex. Okay, let's talk about the sex industry. Sex industry is just like any other industry because it's legal in most of the places. There are people who work as director, managers, and blah blah blah. The main sex industry is focused on porn and prostitution. And ASPs are the adult sex providers, who are the sex workers who work for this industry. And it's like another industry, so it shouldn't be, it's not any inferior than another industry. Okay, this is the stats. It's sex industry is one of the hugest industries in the world, and these are some stats and facts about it. Each year, sex industry earns about $57 billion. Porn and prostitution are the major source, and you can read the following data.